From the 10th of February 1984, security forces are said to have rounded up thousands of men here at the Wagalla airstrip, tortured them and even killed them, changing the lives of an entire community forever. 26 years later, and this is their story.
Akili yote inaisha kwangu, hakuna namna ya kuongea hata majosi inaisha kwa maisha yangu.
اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. آمين. اللهم إنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك يا أرحم الراحمين. آمين.
A bright full moon takes over the cloudless sky that hangs over Wajir district. And below it, in a humble, desolate village, a fire is lit, and a woman prepares for another phase of her everyday life, nightfall. She meticulously controls how the night's meal will be distributed across the village, despite the fact that it is her we brought the food for, adamant that we too must share in her blessings and allowing us into a part of her life she had before today sealed off. It is among tens of other women at Bulla Jogoo, this tiny village in Wajir, that we first meet the 43-year-old, having been led into this tiny hut whose walls carry with it tales of women with nowhere else to run. It was easy to single her out, a woman determined to hide her anguish and pain behind a veil, but whose emotions continued to fail her throughout our session, as they did so many other women here. But it is only when it is her turn to speak that this mother of three strips naked of her soul to us underneath that dark veil, telling us how one Friday morning 26 years ago, 7 security men stormed into her humble hut, took her husband and sons away from her, and then brutally raped her, all 7 of them, one after the other, before burning her house down.
Boqolyala jiiraankayna ay ku tooreen waa argagaxnay mar meel nagala jiraan aqaan weyne markaan meel nagala jira hadan aanba aqaan weyn markaan anaga aanba wareere oo inta daan fiiri waa askar inta daan fiiri waa gaari inta daan fiiri markaan aan gogobsanahay dukaanka dhaxdiisa aan yeel marka anaga wax bariyo ah oo leeyo imaaday oo dadka si fiican wajigiisa u fiirina ma baahan.
She was 8 months pregnant when that happened. All she remembers after that is coming 2 days later and finding herself in a local dispensary, seriously injured and having lost her 8-month-old baby, wounds that have never healed to date.
Nabar badan aan leeyahay jirkay waa wala nabar hata hadda maxay maamada ay arki kartaa hata ay burtay banaanka ay taala markaan عذاب كما قالين جيري إيكا نبليسان كنا لها مركا وحواي وإحساس هاجر.
Both physical and emotional pain that remained suppressed years later for a woman who knows not what to do with all her drowned pain and suffering. It remains a chorus tale the entire day we spend here, women vividly remembering how it all began and ended with the loss of their loved ones and their will to live.
Where are we? What the hell is going on?
Sisi hana habari yoyote. Sisi tunaamka tunakuja kusali, tunaamka kusali, nataka kuwakisha moto. Kuna gari wakati naingia askari ndio anasanya sisi wakati naingia askari tunasikia qap hivi. Wakati tumeona askari sura yake sisi tunastuka hapo. Ikastukwa. Maana mwengabe hapa.
Mimi dad mbay qaadata mafiikar salka ligay waa di afrishimi waxa la xidkeeda xidka kala qoyna markii ugu dhacay xidkaas kala qoy waa la afrishimi حتى مسوي مركز صباحي والله علنا يمشي ولا لنا ثقافتي حتى مرة كان مشي كان سلطان كجري وأنا إيه أقول شغني هذا أهل خير تقول بالعسل تحضرت يخذوك في مريض لحظة أنت زي هاي تكلمت بالعسل أكيد إنت نيالك
sasa askari nitanafuata mimi nikipata askari wewe mama kuja mimi nagoba sijarudi naanza kutoroka moja ndio akafuata mimi akaangusha mimi akafanya rape.
Most of them may not remember much about the men behind that vicious attack.
What does she remember about them?
يوم الآخر يا تاس ما قدونك اللي قدامه علي آخر أصدقت وجيس كنا هاي نمن كاس أنه ما قرن كرن لكن أنا كيار هايان أن أبنه يلفون بود درك كيارتا هاي نما كيار هايان وحي كسب حنمشان marka nooc walba ay yihiin hal la dadka Ingiriiska aqaan waxa la laay KR badan oo la isku daray waxa la laay anima aqaan.
But for most of these women left without husbands and sons, theirs is a revenge wish marred with an unexplainable anger and bitterness.
اللي هركان برق سيس dadku as ulama cabalaaduna ulama cabilla intii biyo sunnaasi badral ku shishaba wardiisa ka bixay dhagax kula joogsada ama gaansis dadku u dhintay oo dilay taanay ka cabsan
akili yote naisha kwangu hakuna namna ya kuongea hata majosi naisha kwa maisha yangu
mutaro oo balka may an badal ku gubo intii ay kan mareenkiisa ayda maruha ma arkay ma ogi.
For now though, they hold on to whatever form of memory they got, including this list of names. 365 of those men officially identified as having died in the massacre, and such unmarked graves as this one behind the Wajir Catholic Rehabilitation Center for closure.
اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك إله الجنة قلي.
The women's presence at the 1 mile white gravel airstrip, their way of dealing with the loss. They stand behind the men and join in on their prayers, but for them it is a prayer seeking healing. And that is how we find ourselves at this 43-year-old woman's home on a brightly lit night, observing how she relates to a woman we had earlier met in the day and who told us was raped by 2 men after her husband and sons were taken away. 2 women we later realize are mother and daughter, forced to share ties deeper than family. And these young boys living with them, grandchildren to this 43-year-old, forced to look after them after her daughter, also raped that night together with them, recently escaped from home, never to be seen again. A load this mother of 3 says has no option but to carry. Memories she carries even into the den of the night, every night. We'll leave as this 43-year-old retires into this hut, a ramshackle dwelling with no door that she quickly informs us is intentional. Easy escape in case something else happens. 26 years later, and in this village consisting mainly of women, we seem to be the only ones brave enough to tread in the dark.
Usiku wakati tunalalanga, silalangi mzuri na sikiangi mzuri. Sasa wakati tunalalanga, tuna astuka. Na ilikuwa stuka yuma yake, mimi natoka kwa nje, ikiwa na hiko na tosh. Sasa tunaangalia kila bahali. Kama yuko na mguu ya watu, kama yuko na sura ya watu. Hata miti inaweza fikiria kama yuko na sura ya watu.
It is a paradox of a village that has an ironical name, Bulla Jogoo, which loosely translates to a village of men. But men do not live here anymore after the 10th of February 1984. Just women who live scared and hopeful of a brighter tomorrow. Evelyn Wambui, KTN, Bulla Jogoo, Wajir.